Hello, my name is Ian. I'm from FDT-TV, and you're here for the weekly podcast. This week it is just me, so we're going to keep it short and sharp because Mike has got the illness I had last week or week before. So we have seen now another red card for dissent, which is good. I've been banging on about that for ages. We're now seeing more fines for players crowding referees, giving them a bit more control over the game. Now, if they get the decisions right and the VAR is right, then this is a very good way to go. If they're making poor decisions still, they're questionable. But Dallows for dissent this time, probably justified. He had a hissy fit when he didn't win a throw-in late on in the game, and then he had a hissy fit when he got booked for it. So, I mean, you only got yourself to blame, fella. But in that sense, Manchester United did deny Liverpool top spot, which is very, very good. Van Dijk made some comments about there was only one team trying to win the game, but mate, you couldn't beat a team that had Johnny Evans started. I mean, what's going on there? I'm interested to see this Manchester United team when they get all of their first team players back. Still got a long injury list. And I think they could do all right, they could do all right. They're there or thereabouts. They're getting results. Manchester United fans aren't happy because not winning the league, but when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I think they're about where they need to be. Chelsea pulled up a 2-0 victory against Sheffield United, which isn't really a surprise. Sheffield United are definitely getting relegated this season. They have I want to say Dean Smith. It's not Dean Smith. He was Aston Villa manager. Have their previous manager in now, who preceded Paul Heckingbottom. He's now taken over again. They had that initial game bounce where they played well, but I don't think they're going to have enough to stay up. I just don't feel the quality is there. Crystal Palace 2-2 against Manchester City. A questionable time with Manchester City. Haaland's not there to lead the attack, and they seem a little bit off the pace from what they have been recently, and it's hard to say 4 times in a row. It's hard to say to keep that level of consistency week in, week out. They've had a few injuries as well, but then again, they've got the money to back it up. I think we could see a change in goal soon from Ederson. He's very good playing out of his feet. Is he a good shot stopper? Questionable from me. I don't think he's up there with the best, and we all know goalkeepers can win you titles. I mean, he's done all right over the last few years, but in the same sense, he hasn't had to face many shots. Is that a question mark for Aaron Ramsdale to maybe go to Manchester City? He can play out of his feet. Bit of a better shot stopper overall than Ederson, and lacking some confidence. I mean, he could leave Arsenal in the winter transfer window. It's definitely in the summer, I think. Is Manchester City a possible destination? That's one to keep a watching eye on. What else has happened? Cole Palmer he left Manchester City, went to Chelsea. He's a driving force there. I think City made a mistake in letting him go. He's a phenomenal player. I rated him better than Phil Foden in the youth teams, and think that he's a more complete player than Foden is. Foden's very technical, very good on the ball, but in terms of actually the whole package, Cole Palmer I think is one to watch. Link them up with Bellingham and Rice in the midfield for England. Would be on for a winner. Who knows? And finally, to wrap up. Oh no, actually, not to wrap up. Ignore what I'm saying. Before we do that, go on over to the FDT-TV YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on whatever social medias you like, and wherever you consume your podcast is really good for us. We enjoy it. We like to know that people are listening. We are getting more views each week, and we really do appreciate it. Chaos in Birmingham. Aston Villa. We see a bit of a scuffle caused by Watkins celebrating a goal against his former club in Brentford. That didn't go down well. That was sort of the starting point, I think, of it starting to get a bit tetchy. And then Neil Maupay threw himself on the floor, and Martinez tried to pick him up, and then all of a sudden people go from being floppy snake people that fall on the floor for nothing to being hard as nails and wanting to push and have a fight. Now, I'm very much of the opinion of football players. If you're going to flop yourself on the floor, you lose all credibility. If you're going to try and start shoving and pushing and trying to have a fight, throw a punch at somebody. If you can't follow it up, don't bother getting involved. Just let the ref sort it out. You're not hard. You're not tough. If you're gonna have to push and shove and do that, and then I think the wrong player got a red card in that situation. But it's right at the very end. Kamara got red carded. There was a few more that probably should have been. I'm sure the FA will look into both teams in that, and I imagine there probably will be a fine handed down at some point. But yeah, football players, just get on with it. Like, I don't know what you're playing. Don't know what you're playing at. You're soft as anything, and then you're hard as nails in two breaths. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Ben Mee got his first red card in like 10 years. Bit of a sloppy challenge, high challenge. Deservedly a red card, I think. Bit out of control. I don't think there was any intent to hurt the player, but they're the rules of the game. What else did we see this weekend? We saw Luke Shaw not get a penalty given away to Liverpool when a ball bounced off his shoe, hit his arm. I think they're getting better with that rule. There's nothing he could do about it. He was in a natural position for where he was. He didn't intentionally hit the ball. It bounced off him, bounced up. Nothing he could do. I think 5 weeks ago, we would have seen that give us a penalty, which would have been really harsh. And last, but certainly not least, Moisaya is back. West Ham back at winning ways against Wolverhampton Wanderers. 3-0. We could have had a few more, I think. Bit scrappy to start up with, but the counter-attack was very effective. Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta, all very, very effective on the ball, which was good. Wolves did have a goal disallowed for offside, which took an extraordinary amount of time. I mean, there was markings on the pitch. You could see from where the grass was cut that he was offside. And I had come to that decision in 4 seconds using marks on the grass. So the fact that the VAR took a long time to decide that, I think, is unfair on the Wolves fans. It's unfair on West Ham. Has unfair in football in all its entirety. And it's one of those that it's just you can't make it up. You can't make it up. The things that shouldn't take a long time do, and the things that should take a long time they don't even look at. So I can't get my head around it. It's one of those. I think we'll see rapid improvement. I think they will get rid of lots of people. We've spoke about match fixing, things like that. I think all of a sudden they've started to feel the pressure, and I think we will see things change quite quickly. But it's a positive note, but it's a sour note as well. Ian Wright. I think at the end of the season we're going to have to do a little tribute to him and discuss his career and what he's done in football, for football. One of the nice guys of football. Is nice to speak about these sort of things. But on the sour note, he is retiring from Match of the Day. He's been there for a long time now. I think we've all enjoyed his commentary, his thoughts, his analysis. But he is retiring at the end of the season. So a little hat tip to Ian right there. We commend you for what you've done for football. And that really, I think, is going to sum us up quite nicely before we come back after the Carabao Cup next week. I'm not going to do predictions for things because it's not fair to do it on my own. I've still got the trophy. I shouldn't have. We've got last week's results to think about. But what I will say before I sign off is here at FDT-TV, we say it every year. Next year we're going to bring you some more content. We're going to do more than just a podcast. We will get around to it. But until then, have a Merry Christmas and a happy